OKW commanders, Feuersturm or Feuersturm. I don't know. Why did people select this name? How did this win the poll? Everyone just calls it Feuersturm. Okay, anyway, we are changing the main focus of the doctrine from fire abilities to also support aggressive close combat engagements. In order to make up for the doctrine's lack of late game super heavy armor, we are experimenting with adding mobile reinforcement options and smoke. Well, OKW doesn't need late game super heavy armor because they've got the King Tiger. They don't need it from Commander. There are loads of OKW commanders that don't have late game super heavy armor. Basically everyone without the Yak Tiger. I don't count the Sturm Tiger as late game super heavy armor. That's a weird thing to say. Assault packages, formerly Flammenwerfer 35, unlocks a dual upgrade. Flamethrowers for Sturm Pioneers and assault package for Volksgrenadiers. Volksgrenadier assault package. They can upgrade to change their role and support the aggressive orientation of the doctrine. Equips all squads with MP40. So I think this was something you could do in COH2, right? I didn't play COH2. Oh, I did. I played a little bit of it back when it came out, but I didn't really stick with it. Unlocks smoke grenade and HE grenade. Uses up all slot items. Okay, so you can't pick up weapons after this, similar to the STG, but you use smoke and HE grenade. Does this take away the? Oh, yeah, it does. They should put this right next to this. Mutually exclusive with the STG upgrade. Removes access to the flame grenade, so you get HE grenade and smoke grenade instead of flame grenade. I imagine that smoke grenade and HE grenade will share the same cooldown. That seems to be what they're doing with all grenades at the moment. Requires a truck to be set up. Costs 70 munitions. Seems pretty reasonable. We'll have to test their firepower. It doesn't say that it removes access to the Panzerfaust either, so that's something to keep in mind. Volksgrenadier Assault upgrade. Given the loss in damage at range, we are significantly reducing the cost of this upgrade. Costs are reduced from 70 to 45. So it's kind of being changed to be a bit more like PPSH conscripts, I guess. And these guys are very strong at close range against standard infantry. So now we're going to test the new Volksgrenadier with the MP40 upgrade, and you can see the icon it has there, versus conscripts at close range. It's a pretty handy win. So that seems to be pretty powerful. So now we're going to test these Volksgrenadiers against the squad of penals, a little bit stronger than the conscripts. Close range. Beating them quite handily. Very handily indeed. We're down to half health. I know that's a bit RNG due to the model drops there, but that was quite a beatdown for a 300 manpower squad that can't get a anti-infantry weapon upgrade. It loses to a squad that 250 manpower with a 70 munitions upgrade. So now I've got the MP40 Volksgrenadiers versus Commandos. So Commandos beat them reasonably handily as well. So yeah, we're good against normal squads, close range, but close quarters specialists like shock troops and commandos, the MP40 Force Grenadiers, at least at Vet 0, can't really hold their own. Incendiary munitions replaces thorough salvage. Yeah, thorough salvage was always a trash ability. It'd take you like so long to salvage something and it barely gave you anything more than regular salvage. Okay, well, anyway, grants incendiary shots to the LEIG, fires 5 rounds for 35 munitions, damage over time equivalent to Molotovs. So I guess it might do some damage when the shell lands, and then damage over time equivalent to Molotovs. But it's interesting that it only this is like a commander ability. Only affects one unit, so seems like you're kind of being pushed more towards using the mid truck with this commander, rather than going for the mechanized, because you want to get your truck set up earlier so that you can get the assault packages earlier as well, and then you also want the ability to build the LEIG from it. Okay, so we're going to test out the incendiary barrage of the infantry support gun. So it looks like it has the same range as the regular barrage, but remember, normal auto attack is now nerfed on the infantry support gun, so you can see the auto attack range ends there, whereas the barrage range ends a bit further on. Auto attack finishes here, barrage finishes up here. So we'll go close to max range on the barrage on this squad of 3 squads of conscripts. Takes a while for the first shell to be fired. Looks like you get a decent chunk of flames for your money. Not super impressive though, the amount of time it takes to come down. Probably the incendiary shell from the Aussie mortar half-track is a little bit better than this, but it's alright, especially if you want to deny a building like immediately, lobbing some incendiary barrage rounds into it. Probably do the trick. In fact, we'll test that right now. See if it gets burnt down by one incendiary barrage or wooden building. Looks like there is some impact damage when the shell lands. Doesn't look like the building's catching fire though. It's not going to get burnt down from one incendiary barrage from this, but it does do, a pretty decent chunk of damage to a wooden building. Opel Blitz reinforced truck. New ability replaces recoup losses. In order to assist the doctrine's aggressive role, we are adding mobile reinforcement option. Costs 200 manpower and 25 fuel. Can reinforce and carry squads, MGs, mortars, and the Raketenwerfer. So they're getting a half-track. $240 health. That's not very much health. What is... I suppose we should compare that to other half-tracks health, right? This one here, the M5 from this. the Soviet one, and the Austrian one. This one has 320 health, so that's the one that can be upgraded to the quad. I think this one also has 320 health. Yeah, 320 health for the Soviet one. 320 health. So 240 health is quite low. Quite a low amount of health. Still 2 shots to kill from most regular tanks, but you know, also 2 shots to kill from, say, an AC now, which does 120 damage rather than 160 damage per hit. So it's something to keep in mind, or will be quite vulnerable to the AC. Has aura that reduces reload time and ability recharge for all infantry by 75%. So you're going to be lobbing grenades really fast, and even actually for, like, say, Panzerfaust, you could, if you had enough munitions, you could shoot a shitload of Panzerfaust at a light vehicle to kill it. And now Panzerfaust, I think OKW Panzerfaust is going to 25 munitions in this patch as well, so alright. But also reload time by 75%. That, I mean, reload, yeah, reloads doesn't make up the largest part of the firing cycle, but that's still a pretty big buff to reload. Opel Blitz, we find that the Blitz truck comes too early and poses a real threat to ending games when rushed near the enemy's cutoff. So yeah, it provided a 75% reload bonus, not cooldown bonus, just reload bonus. But yeah, that's a pretty powerful buff. Command point value from 2 to 3. Can no longer carry MGs or Kittenwerfers. That's a surprising change. Can still carry mortars. It really doesn't have mortars, so that doesn't really matter. Surprised you can no longer carry MGs. That's Kittenwerfers kind of makes sense, but MGs is a bit of a nerf, especially considering this is quite low in low in health. Oh well. I think if they're going to change this CP value to 3, should probably still be allowed to carry MGs. Raketens I can kind of understand, because probably the easiest way for somebody to try and counter this is to make a light vehicle to try and chase it down. So by an Opel Blitz being able to ferry a Raketen to the front lines, maybe it makes it too hard to counter this with light vehicles, and because OKW has Faust these days as well. Over here we've got the Opel Blitz supply truck, 25 fuel, 200 munitions. So there it is, driving along. Seems to be reasonably fast in a straight line. Seems to be quite slow at turning though. Flame hits are largely due to the unit's fixed turret. We find the unit's underperforming for its price. Population from 12 to 10. What a joke it was previously. Minimum range removed. Yeah, that's a good change as well. Range increased from 32 to 35. So 35 range is important amount of range. It's like what most units can see. I think that's the same range as most anti-tank weaponry, right? If we take a look at the range on... oh no, we don't want to look at that. Maybe at the range of PTRS on guards. Oh, but don't these guys get a range bonus? Oh no, they get 40 range on the PTRS. But I believe the Bazooka is 35 range. What's the Piat? Oh, we can't look at it through this. Gotta go to the weapons list. Piat. This might be it here. Range is 30. So what's... Bazooka. Yeah, Bazooka is 35. So yeah, it'll help you if you're kiting anti-tank squads, like infantry squads, and just in general having more range is better. Burst increased from 1/2 to 3, so longer bursts of flame, so that's increasing its damage effectively. Damage increased as well from 10 to 12. Health increased from 560 to 640, so it's getting full medium tank levels of health. It's getting longer bursts, more damage, so it's overall getting a lot of buffs, but that's fine because it was complete trash. Flame Hetzer, we want to restrict the Flame Hetzer from dominating 1v1 games where call-ins are already powerful, but also allow the Hetzer to arrive earlier in team games with sufficient tech. Now buildable from the HQ, requires Schwer Panzer HQ to be built, but not active if destroyed. Cost increase from 280 100 to 300 100. Do you know what? There's one more call-in that they need to do this to. Like I think it's probably fine for the Hetzer to be behind tech, but they need to get the KV-8 as well. The KV-8 is a real problem. I think it's, stronger than the Hetzer, and it's not behind tech. At least the Hetzer, if it's fighting a medium tank, would 640 health, would die to 4 shots, didn't have that strong armor compared to the KV-8. I think the KV-8's a bit of a problem that's not behind tech. But yeah, Hetzer did seem alright, but don't know if I build it over anything else from tier 4. I suppose at 100 fuel it's a lot cheaper than most other OKW tanks, so there might be a situation where you want this. So we've got the Hetzer. We're going to test it out against a squad of conscripts here. So there's getting through its health there. Doesn't seem to be killing them that quickly. I wonder if these two models here are not quite in the looked like the back half of the squad kind of wasn't inside the pool of flame at the start. So maybe you might want to use a little bit of attack ground to get a nice pool of flame over the entire squad, and then just use right click after that. Because otherwise it looks like it'll stop, fire at the first model of the squad, and the first model is way in front of the rest. You won't get the nice pool of flame under the rest of the squad, and may take a bit longer to kill a squad than it otherwise should. Rocket Barrage, we find that the ability has a high likelihood of failing to destroy stationary targets for its cost. Final rocket salvo increased from 4 shells to 6 shells, so guaranteeing it's going to be able to destroy howitzers. So now we're going to test out the Stuka barrage, make sure it will indeed destroy a howitzer. Oh no, definitely did not destroy that howitzer. Weapon health is about half. Crew health is under half, but the scatter on that was tremendous. Whiffed big time. 200 munitions for that as well. Doesn't even guarantee destroy a howitzer. We'll test that in another location. Directly in the middle of the howitzer. Let's try that one once more. Okay, this time it annihilates it completely. So it looks like it does come down to a bit RNG. Could end up like this if you get unlucky on your Bazooka shell scatter, or could just destroy it outright. But yeah, I mean, that kind of scatter would obviously make it much better against infantry, having a wide scatter like that on there. Luftwaffe air support. So we're on to the second commander now for OKW. We find that Luftwaffe air support is overly focused on Fallschirmjägers to the detriment of providing strong unit synergy. We are making modifications to the doctrine to allow for combination of defensive play, fortifications, and abilities that assist in taking and controlling territories. Higher accessibility of smoke and an off-map strike will now improve scalability of the commander. So Fallschirmjägers, to prevent infiltration Fallschirmjäger squads from being overly efficient at wiping squads when spawning out of ambient buildings, we're lowering the initial squad member on spawn count. This will change. This change will allow the target a better chance to flee and also make poorly planned infiltration missions riskier. Now spawn is 3 men, reinforces to 4 men. So similar change to what's happening to the British commandos, infiltration commandos, which are going to 3 men instead of 5 men, but can reinforce to 5 men. Cost reduced from 440 to 400, so kind of accounting for the cost of having to reinforce them, but also their decrease in power level, because I think they're 35 manpower to reinforce, maybe even less than that actually now. Faust range from 15 to 18, so getting a longer Faust range, so that's good. Range bonus removed from Vet 5, so continuing to try and nerf Vet 5. So that's a change. They won't be as good at popping them into a building like in a panic situation to try and swing or wipe squads on retreat and swing things. But that also makes it a lot harder for OKW to try and counter snipers. This, along with Jaeger light infantry, was one of the only ways you could really counter snipers as OKW. That's one thing to keep in mind there. Snipers going to be a bit harder to counter, especially because OKW doesn't have a sniper to counter snipers, and also doesn't have the Scott like US forces, which can one-shot snipers. Fallschirmjäger. Offensive bonus would come too late, preventing the unit from scaling against veteran infantry. Vet 4 accuracy and Vet 3 healing bonuses swapped. So in a way this is kind of the Vet 5 nerfing at work again. But they're not just straight up nerfing the unit, actually moving that Vet 4 bonus to Vet 3. But once again, trying to make Vet 4 and Vet 5 bonuses on units more utility oriented rather than straight combat buffs. Cooldown bonus of 20% added to Vet 3. So they'll be quite potent once they hit Vet 3. Oh well, moving on. Luftwaffe recon run now also drops smoke. What happens if you want to recon somewhere and not smoke? Oh well, I suppose it's free smoke probably going to be better in more situations than it's going to be worse. Okay, so here's the reconnaissance pass. And smoke. So in most situations I feel like you probably want your recon pass, I don't know, flying on not that angle, but I suppose it gives you, you know, the, what's the one? In German mechanized they have drop smoke pots for similar prices without even a recon plane, so pretty good value I think. Heavy fortifications does not affect base flak emplacements. We are improving the performance of field fortifications to allow greater flexibility to the doctrine. Okay. In order to avoid needless experimentation, we are giving the emplacements weapon strength to match that of a flak half-track. Flak emplacement now uses the same weapon as a flak half-track. Range min-max, so it no longer has a minimum range. The reason why it had a minimum range in the is to stop it from damaging itself. So it may, if you run right point blank on it, it may damage itself with this change. But obviously it's going to be very hard to do because this suppresses quite effectively. But so, you know, just a little thing to note. Also, decrews when both models are lost can operate at one man. Operate at one man. So it means snipers are no longer such a good counter to it. Crew target size decrease from 1 to 0.1. So the crew's actually going to be quite hard to kill with small arms fire now. So it should make it like less effective at just running LMG squads into it frontally and trying to decrew it. Flak emplacement costs increased from 250.10 to 250.20. Can now pick up nearby med kits. Still won't be building that, I don't think. I think probably needs a manpower decrease if I had to guess. Well, but maybe not now that it's getting... I don't know. I didn't really test it, but it seems a bit expensive manpower for a stationary emplacement. The fuel cost is probably justified though. 20 fuel. Valiant Assault. A cost decrease with a small duration decrease will allow the ability to be used more often but more tactically when it is needed. Cost decrease from 100 to 70. For Mother Russia also being changed to 70 as well. So it's going to be very similar to for Mother Russia. It doesn't mention the duration decrease in this changes, but that's alright. Air Assault Operation. The ability, while useful for providing the doctrine with enough infantry presence, fails at supporting assaults. The fact that the attack can only occur at a territory point makes this extremely map dependent. Okay, well, can now be targeted on any visible location on the map. After the drop is complete, a single anti-tank Stuka performs a single strafe. You want to hope your anti-tank Stuka is not going to hit your Feuersturm. But yeah, previously this ability, you know, the planes would come through, maybe pin whatever squad was on the point. It wouldn't do much damage to them, force them to retreat. So it was basically, people used it to trade munitions into manpower to get Feuersturmjägers in the late game. Okay, so now we're going to try out airborne assault. Now you can target it anywhere, you don't have to target it on like a specific sector we're going to try out on this tank. So if Squad Feuersturm is supposed to come down and then... Oh. Oh god. So the planes come in. Do what the hell? Okay, so it looks like we get about 3 machine gun style planes, which actually do quite a lot of damage even to medium tanks. Then an anti-tank plane. Then your Feuersturmjäger. Your Feuersturmjäger seem to come in dangerously close to the timing of the anti-tank run. We'll test that out again just here without an enemy tank to cause problems. But it seems like the anti-tank strike may hit the Feuersturmjäger. We'll have to just test that one out. So there we go, we've got three of those. In come the Feuersturmjäger, and then I'm like, get out of there, get the hell out of there. Oh, okay, so it only targets a tank if a tank is in the vicinity. Interesting. An enemy tank is in the area. Looks like it loiters for a while. It's still loitering. And there it goes. So that is actually pretty damn cool. I thought it was just going to be kind of like the Stuka Close Air Support. Or not the Stuka Close Air Support, the Close Air Support Commanders one where it just like one strafe would just come in on the target location. But it's not. It's not like that at all. So these are pretty minor changes to Luftwaffe air support. I thought it was called Luftwaffe Ground Forces, right? Maybe they're changing its name as well. Pretty minor changes. Doesn't make me personally want to use this commander that much, whereas things like the changes to the commandos for British made me really want to play commandos. This doesn't really make me want to play Luftwaffe air support, but Feuersturm does seem more appealing, so I think I will try that one out. Try the assault package on the Volksunities, trying to make use of this reinforcement truck. Hey guys, Tyler here, bringing you the 1.6.1 update for the December balance preview. General changes, demo charges, now once again diffusable due to a... Hey guys, Tyler here, bringing you the December balance preview 1.6.1 update. Demo charges, now once again diffusable due to a knock-on effect that prevented demo charges from functioning. Well, you gotta have those demo charges functioning. Garrison changes. These changes should prevent squads from clumping at the entrances. Load time max from 3.25 to 2. So, you know, all of this tweaking of garrison loading and unloading times, they're almost reverting them back to instant load and deload. But it's a good change. It's squads clumping at entrances is so lethal. You know, if there's a mortar auto firing at the squad already, and they're, you know, trying to get in the garrison, they're clumped at the door. It's just too lethal for the squad. Anyway, IL-2 strafe. The damage is being lowered to prevent a single plane from wiping out squads. Damage from 8 to 5. Yeah, I don't know why they changed it to 5, then they changed it back to 8. And it's like, what are you doing? Yeah, that's good. It's a good change down to 5. Even at 5, if both planes target the same model, it can still wipe a squad. But now, yeah, good change, good change. For marked artillery officer, we feel the Victor's target ability is too efficient for its new cost. Victor target has a warning time of 3 seconds before the shells launch. Alright. USF Sherman HE shells. We are doing a partial revert to lower the potency of improved HE rounds. Far AOE multiplier partially reverted from 0.5 to 0.1, so pretty small change there. Far AOE distance reverted from 3 to 2.25. That's actually a big change. It's a big nerf to Sherman far AOE. I don't really get to try this one out before the nerf. I don't get to play any games with this, so can't really comment on that. OKW Flak Half-Track. We find the Flak Half-Track underperforms against the more mobile Soviets and USF. The setup time decrease will make the unit more versatile as a support weapon. Okay. Well, yeah, I like using the Flak Half-Track, but it is hard to use since they nerfed the setup on the move bug. So what are they doing to it? Vet 2 setup moved to Vet 0. Damage from 20 to 16. Vet 2 restores damage to 20 from 16. Okay. So they're moving the damage to Vet 2, setup time to Vet 0. So the Flak Half-Track could actually be a bit of a sleeper unit here, especially when used inside Feuersturm, which seems to be quite oriented around using the med truck. LEIG 18. We are lowering the cost to better match its performance. Cost decreased from 330 to 300. Good change. They've nerfed the auto fire range on it so many times. 300 manpower. Is that the same as the Soviet heavy mortar? I can't remember. Either way, it's worse than the Soviet heavy mortar, so it should cost less. Should cost less than it. Bug fixes. Fixed an issue where the Austere Panzer IV was incorrectly set at 14 population. Fixed an issue where the OKW Panzer IV population was not correctly set at 14. Oops. Salvage should now appear on Sternponies and Volksgrenadier when Feuersturm is picked. Alright. Fixed an issue where mortar half-tracks USF and Ost would fire beyond their intended arc of fire. Fixed an issue with the Opel Blitz wreck to not provide cover. Okay. Fixed an issue where M83 cluster mines gave no airstrike warning. M83 explosion effects now displays properly. Okay, good. Fixed an issue where airborne assault could be launched into base sectors. 76mm Shermans now use the same selection group as 75mm Shermans. I guess that's for if you've got multiple tanks in the same control group. Or if you've got multiple tanks sitting next to each other and you double click on a Sherman, maybe select all, both 76 and 75mm Shermans, if I had to guess. Fixed an issue where demo charges did no damage. Yeah, that was probably the defuse bug thing. Fixed an issue where recon support paras did not get hold fire. That was supposed to be one of their things, right? They get a first strike bonus out of cover, so you kind of need hold fire for that. Fixed an issue where the MG34 was not set to the correct price. Adjusted text and UI for changed units and abilities. So yeah, there's the 1.61 update. A few minor changes here and there. Do like the look of the Flak Half-Track. LEIG change. Volksgrenadier change, good. Opel Blitz I feel like probably should carry machine guns, but it's no big deal. And yeah, very glad that the cluster bombs are going to have a red smoke instead of a green smoke. That seemed like a very stupid change.